Horror is something I'm very well versed in. At the drop of a hat, I can suffer from horrific intrusive visions, like jogging naked in front of a full-length mirror on a treadmill, or getting nervous diarrhea before an important event, such as the panel I will be hosting at MagicCon Las Vegas, along with some special guests, called A History of Horror in the Art of Magic the Gathering. And with magic and horror, the bone-chilling possibilities are endless. And with the release of Duskmourn making its way around the Lovecraftian corner, I thought today we'd take a dip in the Pontypool with some of the most horrific art in Magic the Gathering. But first, some honorable mentions. Hannahweir Garrison Battlements, Hannahweir the Writhing Township, where even newborn babies are not spared the horrors of Emrakul.
I'll sue you for libel.
Ad Nauseum, which shows us that hell does not have to be on fire to make you suffer. Terror, which the name says it all. And Brazilla, Voice of Nightmares, whose words it speaks would be the last you hear. And if you can name that movie that the tune was taken from, be the first to comment and you will receive your very own copy of The Three Weird Sisters / Olivia Crimson Bride. There's a hint now for you in that. And if those Eldrazi angels weren't bad enough, let's get to our first card called Angelic Aberration. This crusty bitch is so big, we're not sure if she's flying or if she's just so tall that she appears to be flying. But one thing's for sure, one look at this monstrosity, and you'll have to wonder how many Innistradian nights did this multi-mouth horror shove down her throat before she was finally felled.
Less than you slut.
Point taken. Moving on. Ichthymorphodosis. From the Latin origins, that means change into a fish. This one always unnerves me, because what happened to this poor soldier to deserve this fate? Plus, you see the absolute abject panic, shame, and horror in his still very human eyes as we stare at the snapshot of his final moments before his death. Top it off with the flavor text that makes a joke of his cruel fate as we watch his former comrades march on as though nothing happened. If that's not horror, then I don't know what is. Nightmare Unmaking. It's the utter surprise and pain in the slowly peeled back eyeballs that makes my chest seize up and my sphincter tighten, and not in the good way. These poor knights didn't know what sucked them, but if you ask me, it looks like the work of Ashiok, or as I like to call them, Ashy Hole. Bloodcurdler. Magic had a cruel streak in its early days, and there's nothing crueler than when something terrible happens to animals and children, and this one checks off those two with brazen depiction, with some added baby vultures / dinosaur-esque horrors all wrapped in one slithering fetal presentation that makes you want to scream and weep at the same time. Someone hand me a tissue and a barf bag. Skin Invasion, Skin Shedder. If you think that the healthcare system is bad in the United States, just compare it to Innistrad. This poor fucker actually went to a doctor who prescribed being bitten by a large alien leech the size of a chihuahua with bed rest. Poor Innistrad. The plane the multiverse fucked with a chainsaw. A living chainsaw. A living chainsaw with tentacles and the faces of your loved ones. Skull Clamp. If you're going to have an awful tattoo put on your leg, at least have the good taste to exfoliate and shave the whole damn leg before forcing us to look at it up close. Ingrown hair and uneven body hair isn't magical, it's disgusting. But then again, maybe good skincare and razors are hard to come by in prison, which is where this tattoo looks like it was inked. But in an odd way, this horror show gives me hope, because this means that if this can be accepted as a secret layer, then anything can. Who, me jealous? What do you mean? I'm brain dead too! I need a palate cleanser after that one. There's only so much horror I can take in one sitting. Well, that's all the horror I have for you now. I hope you enjoyed and were terrified enough to like and subscribe, and leave me a comment on what other videos you'd like to see, horror or otherwise. Ta-ta for now! Is it Duskmoor or Duskmourn?